On Ticker, this is Import Export with Lawrence Christophels.
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm now joined by Alison Cusack. Many of you in the industry probably know Alison already. She's a pretty of a powerhouse across the legal sector and international trade, and really privileged to have her on the show. So thanks for joining us, Alison.
Thank you for the invite,
No
Lawrence.
worries. So I know you're wearing two hats today, so I'm going to start with one. So WISTA.
Yes.
Tell me about WISTA, or tell us about WISTA.
Okay, so WISTA is fantastic. It stands for the Women's International Shipping and Trading Association.
Yep.
It started in London about 45 years ago between 6 ladies from 3 countries who got together at the pub on a Friday night and said, we need a network.
Great.
And from there it's grown to over 45 countries.
Wow.
So we have the WISTA Australia Association here.
Yep.
I'm the national president, which
Yep.
is a big privilege. We've got branches in Victoria, WA, New South Wales and Queensland, and we're hoping to expand as and where the need is. So last year we had a pop-up event in Far North Queensland.
That's great.
To look after the Townsville and the Cairns ladies. So the exciting thing about WISTA is about the network that it provides, and it's not just the domestic network here in the CBD or interstate, it's the international network.
Yeah.
So for instance, just last week we had the WISTA Singapore president come down for
Yeah, I
the
saw that on your feed, yeah.
So she was down for the Australian Open and said, can we is there any events going on? I was like, Magdalene, I will make you an event.
Great.
Don't you worry. So
Yeah.
we all went out to dinner. But the exciting thing, and I can think it's on the screen for the viewers now, is the relationship between WISTA internationally and the IMO. So
Right, yeah.
the International Maritime Marine Organisation. WISTA, just under 2 years ago, was granted consultative status.
Ah.
So each country gets appointed. So AMSA is Australia's representative at the IMO. But WISTA's been granted consultative status, which means it gets basically a seat at the table
Great.
and a voice.
Yeah.
And just the other week, the IMO signed a memorandum of understanding with WISTA to increase collaboration.
Fantastic.
So the IMO is pledging to come to more events, have more women speakers, and just really, I suppose, back up last year's theme, which was empowering women in the maritime community.
Yeah.
So it really gives us such a boost to have that level of support at that
At a global
international,
level, yeah.
on a global level, and to see that that issue is taken seriously, and it's not lip service to the problem. It's actually what meaningful steps can we take?
Yeah, I think it's so important. I think, we had Steve on the show earlier about Cargo Club and how important it is to get younger people through the industry and sector. But especially in supply chain, it's a challenge to make sure that we're getting young women into the supply chain and really celebrating the ones who are already here, and there's such a great role they're doing.
Absolutely, and what I say to people is there's 2 challenges. First challenge is getting women into the industry, and the second challenge is keeping women in the industry. So I know certain organisations like Port of Brisbane and Patrick's do targeted campaigns to get female cadets in, and I'm trying to, with WISTA, partner with them to say, you get them in, and we'll keep them in.
Yeah, fantastic.
And one way we're doing that, I'm super proud, is that we have launched a national online mentoring program this year.
Great.
So we've got 22 pairs that are going through the program right now, which is incredibly exciting.
Mentoring is the key, especially partnering them with people who've got the experience in the industry, giving them that extra sounding board, the extra coaching, if you like.
Yeah, and it's people that are outside your organisation where you can be vulnerable and say, I think I should know this, but I don't. And am I stupid, or am I silly, or am I overthinking it? Am I alone? And what I found incredible was the amount of men who approached us and said, can we be mentors? And we said, of course. We need everyone in the conversation.
It's really important that males in the sector put their hand up and say, look, we want to support the women coming through.
100%.
It's really critical. And you see that across all sectors now, whether it's sport or industry itself. It is really powerful for that inclusivity or inclusion to come through.
Well, it comes from the top. And unfortunately, we still see a lot of male-dominated boards and C-suites who are making the decisions, who are deciding whether or not to sponsor WISTA, who are deciding whether or not to support events, who are deciding whether or not to promote it internally, and who are deciding whether or not to allow these females to leave work to attend professional
Yeah.
development events. And I still hear stories of ladies saying, all right, I'm going to take annual leave to come to
Really?
this event. Oh,
You'd
it
think
breaks my heart, Lawrence, because it's a professional development
Yeah.
event,
Yeah.
and they go, it's just easier. I don't want the hassle. They're not going to say yes. And I know, and that's why the more we, you know, with the IMO,
Yeah.
I can say, yeah, the IMO backs us.
Oh,
So.
no. Yeah, you might want to think about this
Yeah.
in your business. You know? It's gonna, and the ridiculous part of that, listening to that, is that the value that they'd get from participating in Wistar flows directly back into the organisation anyway.
Can I tell you how many women have gone, oh, and I knew this lady from Worcester, so I gave her a call, and
Yeah.
then I just short-circuited,
Yeah.
and, you know, back when in my old job, one of the Worcester ladies contacted me and said, I know it's not your job, but I've got project cargo stuck in PNG, can you help me? And
Yeah.
I was like, I think so.
Well, that's the whole point of networking, and having that
Yeah.
peer group that you can support each other with.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the other thing that, I mean, from a, you know, I've got my daughter, and she's you know, a bit of a powerhouse with her career going, things like that. But, you know, I look at supply chain, and you're literally, you know, got so many multitasking requirements. And I'm the first to say I think women are much better at multitasking than men are. So from a supply chain perspective, it is, you know, to me, it's a no-brainer that they should be in supply chain.
I think, I mean, you know, we've talked about this. I love shipping. I love maritime.
Yeah.
I'm the biggest nerd for it. And I just, you know, I want everyone to have the choice.
Yeah.
Whether they want just a job, whether they want a career, let us have the choice to pursue that.
Yeah, yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah, no, I think, look, things are changing, and a lot of credit to yourself and the Wistar team here in Australia and globally. I think there's, you know, all of us in the industry, all of us who are, you know, not closed-minded from what you just, you know, we all want to see that that balance to be corrected, and, you know, we all want to support that development and growth with women in the sector. So, you know, it's really important for us here in Australia to do our bit,
Yep.
and making sure that whatever we can do to promote Wistar, promote that inclusiveness, and really encourage employers, if they're not letting them go to the events, they should be pushing them to the events.
Well, and speaking of events,
Yeah.
a bit of an exclusive.
Yeah, our first exclusive on the Import Export Show.
Exciting. Worcester Australia overnight got the green light to host the Asia Pacific Conference
Wow, that's
here
huge.
in Melbourne,
Yeah,
April 1st to 3rd.
yep,
So it's going to be at the Convention Centre. It's going to be very exciting. We have some big things happening. So employers, please let all of your staff, men and women,
Yep.
men are always welcome.
Yep.
April 1st to 3rd at the Convention Centre. More details to be
So
announced soon.
I was going to say, how do we get more details? How can industry, how do we support, get involved with that?
So supporting, very easy. Money
Yep.
generally is how we get support by becoming an annual sponsor, and I think that was flashed up on the screen earlier. Our 2020 sponsors, which are fantastic,
Yep.
most of whom have come back on board.
Great.
The other thing is sponsoring events. Paying for your staff to come become members,
Yeah.
letting them go to events, paying for their events. You know, if you want to work up something magical and fancy, get in touch with me.
Yeah.
You can find me on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
People know where to find me, I think.
Right. Yep. No, you'd definitely catch up with Alison, and, you know, we're going to wrap up to a break, but I haven't finished with you yet because I
Okay.
want to talk about your other hat, which
Yes.
is Cusack & Co. Lots to talk about there, and how important that is as well for shippers, and that's why, you know, it's great to have Carmine still with us, and we'll come back after the break and talk more about Cusack & Co. and then I want to have a few more questions for Carmine as well. So thanks so much for talking about Wistar. Get in touch with Alison, support the cause, get involved with the conference, the 1st to 3rd of April here in Melbourne. So reach out to Alison, she'll give you all the details. So join us straight after the break, and we'll continue our discussion with your next hat.